Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek.
A comet is about to destroy a world, and alien shepherds won't let Enterprise interfere. This has all been preordained. Captain Pike has a casual dinner party, but nobody tells Uhura it's casual. Kirk is in for a shock, and music opens up an Easter egg.
Wait, she caught her hair in a sonic shower, and maintenance says the dots had to come in, and Heather's like in the shower, naked with her hair.
How do you
caught?
catch your hair in a sonic shower?
I have no idea. That's so painful, and that's horrible.
I've seen a lot of things happen before, but that's a new one.
Dude, just because I use the sonic shower the way that I do not need comment from you guys on how I use it. I just have to cut my fucking hair now.
Are we talking about the hair on your head or your pubes? Which is caught.
Oh my God! Don't even give me that
Nobody
image.
specified.
Don't give me that image.
I wasn't going to go there, but you know.
Don't give me that image. It's as bad as that happened the other day. I just had to laugh. I was rushing out of my quarters, and I didn't know the Dot was in there cleaning. And I got my member stuck in one of his receptacles. I just had to laugh because it looked like the Dot was giving me head. It was.
How did you get something so small caught?
He was doing the vacuum part of the thing, and it was wide open. All right, and it really is just like right in there. So that was not fun, but I just had to laugh. I saw the reflection, and it really looked like he was giving me head. So
it's been a really, really crazy week. This week, I swear to God, whatever can go wrong has gone wrong. Even ask Rocky. I feel so bad for him and what he had to go through.
I mean, you think you turned on the antimatter containment unit? And it wasn't on when I thought it was on. That's a complete blunder. You don't want to accidentally not leave that off.
Yeah, that wasn't fun. It's even worse at poor Pat. Pat, number one, you do such great work for us and everything. But that alien had to make that sound in the middle of you drinking. And the fact that everything sprayed out of your nose and mouth all over his clothes. And the job you did to convince him that it was a blessing from Earth.
That was amazing. That was pure top-notch amazing.
Hysterical.
I have no recollection of what you're speaking about.
Of course you don't. It was, wait, the fucking light is on?
You remember that time when you started the show and you said stuff and then the light was on?
And everybody heard?
That's every one of our shows.
And you just had to laugh.
I guess so.
This is such a horrible start to our show.
I know.
So many groan-worthy moments.
Is there a way that you can do like a message recall, like that old style email?
No,
It's
doesn't
out there,
work.
huh?
That's make believe.
Yeah.
You can't recall an email if it's on someone else's server already.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we just need to warp around the sun for a little bit to go back and fix some things.
Last time we did that, we almost ran into the La Serena. So yeah, we got to be careful. Okay, since the light's on already, and you guys probably already heard us, we are Starfleet Underground. And if you did not know that, why are you here? Because obviously you heard our title or saw our title and decided to give us a listen if you're a brand new listener. And if you are, thank you for joining us. As you could tell, we are not a PG or even a G podcast. We're not even a PG-13. We're more like a hard R. I said R.
No kids. Some adults.
Well, Nathan only gets semi-hard, so, you know, it's his age.
Yeah, but that's usually enough to shoehorn it in. So you just put me on another track.
That visual was just, thanks a lot, sir.
Thanks. That was
I had to mute my microphone so I didn't barf.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to think about it.
We're not for anybody under the age of 18, so please do not listen.
Shoehorn.
And if you know me in real life, yes, this is also a side of me that I never show you. So thanks everybody for joining. I have a full crew complement today. I have my wonderful science officer.
Hi, I'm Heather Ferris. I'm the science officer. And Well, I'm getting used to this new mohawk that I have after I had to cut off all my hair and restyle. So it's been interesting.
That explains why you were in the galley the other day going, what are you going to do when Heather decides to cook for you?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
Okay.
And I had that big boombox next to me and everything. And yeah, exactly.
That's okay. And you could not ask for a better number one than the one that I have, but you can't have them. So there.
Hi, I'm Patrick. I'm number one. I'm the computer guy and the foreign species liaison, and nobody can have me.
No, that's right.
Well, I mean, it depends on the Star Trek actor.
Well, maybe.
That's why you tell them every time they come on, no, you cannot have the goo-goo. So that's...
The goo-goo?
It's the first part of, the second part's Gaga.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, no, I wouldn't refer to it as such.
And I received 4 proposals the other day for this person. 4. And I would not accept any currency or any type of thing. I mean, even some guy that had some weird looking ship that looked like a little bit of like a hawk
vagina
cross with a penis. No. And they were saying like the guy was talking about, I'll trade you Vera for him. And it's like, no, he's our engineer. You can't have him. They said something about Callie being off planet, or I don't know. Any rate, here's my chief, our engineer.
Hi. Hi, everyone. I'm Rocky. I'm the engineer of the show and the ship, and just happy to be here right now.
Yes, because you almost was aboard something called the Serenity.
I'm happy I wasn't traded.
Yes,
although I heard the Serenity has a really hot engineer.
Yeah, but they said that she was off planet somewhere doing something on one of the outers. So I don't know, but they wanted you.
Their captain's pretty yummy too.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna let you.
No, I'm agreeing with Rocky. That engineer, man.
Yeah. So there's all the introductions. We're being brought to you by Section 31, as well as our Patreon people, as well as the people who continually come back and listen to us. We may not exactly know who you are, but we see your numbers. So thank you. We appreciate you for that. Let's see what we're doing. We have any corrections by any chance?
Let me check subspace. Nope, no messages in subspace. We are good.
Now we're going to go ahead and go for all the information we can find out there from the northeast, west, and south of the galaxy. We're going to start off with Heather. What do you got for us?
Hi, Captain. I have 2 articles this week. Both of them are kinda, but not kinda Star Trek related. I'll do the rant first, and then I'll do the serious one second. So my rant is NASA, dude, stop sending unsolicited dick pics. Nobody wants to see that. That's not the way to get someone to respond. Ask any guy who's tried to get a girl that way. Not a good way to get someone to respond. Not even aliens. No one wants to see that shit. Please stop doing it.
Ask a gay guy. It's a great way to get someone to respond.
Dude, seriously, someone sends you a dick pic and you're like, yeah, I'm all for that.
Pretty much.
I need to get with you more often. I'm going to start sending you like the dick pics that I get. We could start rating them.
No, you don't want to do that. When Heather opens her email, it looks like a hot dog factory exploded.
Oh, man.
So,
and then
good.
My second news article this week, unfortunately, is a sad one. This is our 2-year anniversary of Fred's death. Fred was part of our crew, and unfortunately he passed away on May 10th. Rest in peace, Fred. We really miss you, and we wish you were still here. So,
and we do. Let's have a moment of silence for him. We miss you, Fred, and in honor, that's why we commissioned the ship to be named after you. If those of you that didn't know why our ship is named the way it is.
Yep.
So,
the Beutler.
Yes, and I'm going to get some Romulan ale and raise a glass for him later, but not during the podcast because we already read too much shit out there on our beginning. Hey, number one, what do you got news-wise?
Well, the QMX is finally beaming down the USS Enterprise Delta badges that were originally announced all the way back in February of 2019. They were showcased at the Toy Fair Expo in New York City, and they look pretty freaking amazing. So we're finally getting the Enterprise Deltas. Yay! That's
cool. Lord knows I got a bag full of badges because they keep changing them. They should just stop torturing us, just like on the after show.
Bag full of Hadges, what?
No, just like on the after show, they showed how they do that to really piss people off with the new uniforms on Star Trek.
And there's a new uniform every single freaking week, it feels like.
Yeah, it is. And if they says, okay, it looks like a lot of people fabricated that uniform. Let's do EV suits now. What? Damn it. I can need lighting. Okay.
Extra vagina suits?
EV suits.
Wait, what kind of suit are you using?
Well, must be warm and cozy.
An EV suit. It's called an extra vagina suit, right?
Don't stick your dick in there.
It was really embarrassing when number one showed up for the spacewalk they were taking the other day. He wore totally the wrong suit.
He was like, but this one is warm and comforting.
That hole is not meant to put your dick in. That's for the air.
It was green. It was Borg-like. It was an extra vagina suit.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I thought that's what that meant.
No, we'll have to talk about this later. Hey, Rock, what do you got?
I don't know. My new story is a little too trivial now. Compared to all of that. Super 7's got reaction figures. They're designed to celebrate the iconic action figure of our childhood. And I don't know about you guys, but I unfortunately didn't get any Star Trek Next Generation action figures as a child. So I'm wondering about this. But anyway, they've got a line. They've announced they've got a second wave of this coming out. And these happen to have Counselor Troy, Commander Riker, Dr. Crusher, Lieutenant Commander LaForge, Q, and the one that makes everybody scratch their head. Armis is an action figure.
Oh, I saw that one.
He killed Tasha.
Tasha is not an action figure, but Armis is an action figure?
That is so weird.
Like,
And Armis is just about a puddle of sludge, so that's kind of interesting.
Somebody took like a Chewbacca and then made it the wrong color and deleted the eyes. Because that's what it looks like.
So it was a machine malfunction, and they're like, well, it looks like Armis. Let's just say it's Armis and throw it out there.
It's like if Heather took and did cooking, but for action figures, this one looked a little burnt and like, wait. We don't have to throw that batch out. I know what to make these.
I knew I recognized it.
Does it come with a little phone on there so you can prank call it?
No, but I think you can accessorize.
Oh, that
you can give it a pile of ink to stand in and then give it a cell phone, and then we can all call
We'll
it.
have the traveler go pick up a phone and deliver it to him.
That would be so funny.
Anyway, super7.com if you want to find out about these crazy action figures. Most of them are actually kind of cool.
Now, for those of you, my news article is for those who always claim that Star Trek is not Star Trek. This show here is more Star Trek than Star Trek. Well, all of those people rejoice in the fact to know that Orville is coming back.
Yay!
It's going to be on Hulu and then Disney Plus. And for those of you who are waiting for the show, you realize that it's been a long time.
Oh, God, no.
Getting from here to there.
Oh, my God. Kill me now.
You know,
Wrong show, sir.
Oh, but it was in full. They started doing everything, and then COVID hit, and then filming shut down for a while. And
then they switched away from Fox and to Hulu.
Now, if you want to kind of see what happened between seasons,
and how's it going to be on Disney Plus too? Because Hulu is not owned by Disney.
They actually have a thing going back and forth. They have a bungle where you tie the bungle together. You can get Disney Plus.
You mean bundle?
Hulu. That's what I said. A
bungle is when you fuck something up like you just did.
Well, no, I said they have a bunghole where you can get Disney Plus.
This is not
ESPN Plus.
This is not Cornholio.
And Hulu all for the same price. So obviously they get something going together. Now, I said all of that and I've whetted your appetite.
Having been to a winery and seeing an actual bunghole in person, it's not as funny as you might think.
You saw a bunghole in person? Patrick.
Really?
I've seen plenty of them.
I didn't know you were a cork sucker.
Just a sniffer.
Oh, God. Okay, probably shouldn't have said that. I apologize.
Let's get on to the show.
Okay, no, I got to tell them this, and then we're going to get on to the show. June 2nd is when Orville's going to come on Hulu, so you need to catch it up. June 2nd is right around the corner, and on Hulu, they got the first 2 seasons. You can stream now. You can see a really intelligent show and watch what someone does with an IP who is actually a fan of Trek. So it's going to be pretty cool. Now we can continue. My science officer with the mohawk, I got to get used to seeing your hair like that.
I like it. It's a nice little breeze. I don't know. I'm glad I shaved the sides.
Oh my God. No, Doc. I don't want to know if she's got a landing strip to match the mohawk. Get the fuck out of here. Thank you. All right, let's get started.
That fucking Dodd said he wouldn't tell anybody.
Yeah, he's 007's on a rant.
Yeah. Okay, so this week we watched Strange New Worlds Season 1, Episode 2, Children of the Comet. It first aired May 12th, 2022. Teaser: Dinner Disaster. Enterprise is studying a comet and Uhura was invited to dinner with the captain and other bridge crew. Being the new kid on the block, Uhura is hazed into wearing her formal dress uniform for this casual event. During the dinner party, Uhura offends the blind telepathic chief engineer named Hemmer, and he likes her. She grabs a drink to ease the anxiety, listens to Captain Pike tell a funny story. Moral of the story: sometimes things go so badly you just have to laugh at it.
Ha 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 ha.
I thought it was never catch a Nausican with his pants down.
Oh, well, yeah, that's also the moral of the story.
That's not pretty.
No.
No, it is not. That's why it's Nausican, because it's nauseating.
We learn many things about Uhura, such as she hums when she is nervous, she speaks 37 languages, not 12, and when Pike asks her what she wants to be when she grows up, she replies, and I'm paraphrasing, "Fuck if I know. I'm not even sure if I want to work here to begin with." Uhura gives a heartbreaking story about the death of her parents and her brother. She went to go live with her grandmother who used to serve in Starfleet, and since she always talks so fondly about it, Uhura decided to run away to the academy. After dinner, Uhura and Spock are walking back to their quarters, and Uhura thinks that she said the wrong thing. Spock reassures her by saying Pike values honesty, but then he gives her a verbal Vulcan bitch slap by saying, "You know, Starfleet is so difficult to get in. If you don't want to be here, maybe you should leave and make room for someone who does." Bam! Back in Pike's quarters, he and Number One are doing the dishes when Number One brings up Pike's stutter, and when he asks the question, "Where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?" They talk about Pike's trauma and seeing his death when he mentions that he was staying the course because of the kids he was going to save. Spock interrupts when he calls Pike to the bridge. The comet they are studying is about to hit a nearby planet, destroying a pre-warp civilization. Pike responds, "Okay, let's shoot at it." So it goes off into a different direction, therefore missing the planet. "Let's get this done, people. We have a planet to save before breakfast." The Enterprise shoots at the comet, but a force field appears, protecting it.
Personally, I'd like to have breakfast before I save planets.
Usually helps you think better.
Yeah.
And I was not damn freaking.
I am not cooking.
Emergency alert system.
I swear to God, I am not cooking.
Sure, liar.
You cannot blame that one on me. I am not in the
And you would
kitchen.
say just mute your phone, but they turned it into vibrate mode, and your phone vibrates more than it ever vibrates before when it goes off. It's like super vibrate. I thought my phone was going to blow up, literally.
Is that why Patrick is using his phone like that?
Well, he's always happy in emergencies.
I sit on it when it does that, so
He gets a buzz out of it.
I do.
That's why you keep telling me, call me. Call me.
No.
And then you
Call
don't
me
answer. It's like,
again.
call me.
So I was totally surprised to see that the fucking comet had a force field. I mean, I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
No.
That
Yeah.
was.
Well, I was surprised the way they said you shoot some ion engines at it, and then it looked like a bunch of torpedoes. I'm like,
They were using photon torpedoes to launch the ion drives.
Yeah. I'm like, that's a quick way to do it. But yeah, it did look a little like if you didn't know you're being sent some engines, they would feel threatened, right?
Well, it was wild because they scanned it. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Heather.
No, you go ahead, because I'm switching this topic.
No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, you go
You
ahead.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, Patrick, you get ahead. Okay.
Ooh.
So what happened? It was just strange because they scanned it and it looks like a regular thing. Pike, it looks like, okay, this is going to be such a routine thing. We're going to save a planet. Wait, It's got fucking shields.
Yeah, whoa.
It's like, what the hell?
What the fuck?
Yeah, so that was, I agree with you, Chief. That was a surprise.
I was surprised to see them doing dishes. I guess that is Replicator version 9.0, 50 years from now that does the dishes.
Their replicators are not as fancy as they used to be.
No, they're old school replicators. They don't even do the dishes.
You're lucky to get a good chicken soup out of it without getting a tribble attached.
No wonder why they didn't use the replicator so much in the back
why there's
days.
so much hair in the chicken soup all the time?
Yeah, you would think chickens aren't that hairy, right?
Hey,
Not anymore. You remember
Nausican chickens are hairy.
Well,
Oh my.
now, so we don't have to worry about Heather cooking and putting hair and stuff because she's got a lot less of it now.
That's true.
Ew.
Now, this is when we first start the episode. Did you guys notice that this is the first time ever Uhura has recorded a log? And then not only that, it was a cadet's log.
That was cool. I didn't notice it the first time around. I was just like into the story. Second time, I'm like, wait a minute. Uhura's doing a captain's log, or not a captain's log, but a log to start the show.
Log.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
She's doing a cadet log. The only time we've ever seen a cadet log is on lower decks.
I wonder, is the cadet log smaller than the captain's log? And does it flush as easily?
I am not going to investigate that one, but it was kind of cool to see, again, the story sharing. Everyone is sharing a story. And I like the fact that she corrected them because it's like, I speak more languages than that. And that's what impressed the engineer, is that when she was able to address him in his language.
Yeah, it's one thing when you can, get poked at by somebody. It's another when they can do it in their own language.
Yeah. And I like the little interplay between him and Spock. He's like, you telepathically, said you were going to throw that. I did.
I just love that, he didn't like the word impaired. And then the thing goes where his other senses compensate. And he was even offended by that. The compensate. No, they are superior. So I just like that. He's got a big ego.
Yeah, which is nice. I like his character right off the bat, so it's going
Who does he think he is? Stevie Wonder?
Hey, if Stevie Wonder could catch a carrot thrown by a Vulcan behind him, more power to him.
And what the hell is up with Spock's
he could catch
eyebrows?
a couple notes, but I don't know about a carrot.
What is up with Spock's eyebrows? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Heather.
Oh, why? What happened with Spock's eyebrows?
It didn't look like looks like he was using Maybelline or something.
I'm sorry,
on
his
it.
sideburns
Really?
are getting me. What's up with Spock's sideburns? Those are a little squiggly.
I'm not liking the sideburns.
Yeah, so, but you were saying?
Oh, I was thinking when he threw the carrot to him, when he telepathically, was he like, dude, okay, I'm going to throw this carrot at you so we could show her that you're telepathic? Was he thinking that?
Yes, exactly. That's what he said.
But it happens so much quicker because it's the speed of thought. I mean, that's carrot thrown, done. Awesome.
Watch out, throwing a carrot at you.
It's like quicker than saying heads up.
Throwing a hot dog down a hallway.
Yeah. And I liked also the friendship part between him and number one when she was explaining to him about the future. And she's like, it doesn't have to happen that way. And he's so tortured that he remembered every single crew member that he saw.
I'm amazed at the recognition of the people he saves. I didn't know that. I think that's something they splashed on us on this episode. I didn't realize he knew their names right in a row, right, easily recallable, just like that. That's shocking.
I
think when you experience something like that, something so traumatic,
but
just certain things stay with you.
You have the time to think about it. I mean, that's amazing to me. He's in such a unique position.
He's also using it. He's using it to get his butt out of bed, go on with his life and go on in the world. He's using it. It's like, these are the people I'm going to save. I need to be out there. I need to be doing this. I can't be afraid when I have to save these people. And he's using that.
But he is afraid though. He is,
but he's using it to try to not be afraid. He's using that as like, this is why I'm out here.
He's in a tunnel though. He's so focused on the fact that he's going to die. He doesn't think there's any other options.
He's not that focused because he's like completely forgets about it for like half second. Then he says, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Oh, 10 years. Bad number.
Himself.
Sorry.
I know where I see myself in 10 years.
Yeah, it's like a constant countdown that's in the background.
Yeah.
So it's.
Are you making fun of me, Riz?
Always. What? We always make fun of you.
Of course we do. That's the whole deal.
It was from Greece.
You just don't realize it.
Olivia Newton-John.
Speaking of
fun of me, Riz.
Yeah, you're hitting the certain demographic, sir.
The planetary system where they are traveling, called the Persephone system. Two things. One, we have seen this before in other episodes, but I'll talk about that later. And two, Persephone is, if you guys don't know, in ancient Greek mythology, she was the goddess of the underworld and therefore goddess of the dead. Well, she was, Hades' wife, but she is also the goddess of fertility. She's the reason why we have spring and winter, for example. So it's both the death and the fertility. And we see this later on in the episode, but I love how that name just tells you everything you need to know about this episode.
A little bit of foreshadowing for people who knows what it means.
Total foreshadowing.
Is that anything like foreskin?
No, not at all.
We're not talking about that. Yeah.
It is interesting though, because you get the guest stars appearing right off the bat in like this desert looking world where it's literally dry as a bone and they're just hanging out in their robes with their cool looking contacts in.
Dry bone.
I think I was scarred because now I can't stop thinking about Patrick's foreskin. I'm permanently scarred.
Well, you should be.
So is he.
Medical says it's stretchy.
It's chewy.
I don't know about that.
Oh.
It's stretchy. They say
I wouldn't know how to
TMI.
Hey, my mother was a good Catholic. She got.
Okay, also didn't need to know.
Sharing. Okay, well, it's good to know Patrick is just like Uhura.
You can bet that most white men born in America have been circumcised.
Okay, so who's taking bets on this?
So you're saying they're turtlenecks versus helmet heads?
Yes.
So Uhura tends to overshare, and so does our number one, TMI.
You don't, please.
I like this scene, though. I thought it was it started off incredibly comical. I mean, that's the worst thing in the world. Just show up to the costume contest. We're happening it tonight at the party. I'm like, oh, cool. I wear my coolest ass costume, and you show up and it's not a costume contest. That's was funny. Equally embarrassing as showing up in your full dress.
It's like that TV commercial where the woman goes to the business meeting and her phone reception was bad and she thought she heard it was a costume party and she shows up in Victorian drag. And
does anybody else want to order a turkey leg?
Right.
It sounds like a Star Trek convention where you go to an event thinking you have to dress up in your formal Star Trek uniform and you go there and everybody is casual. That hasn't happened?
Why are you out of uniform, cadet?
That hasn't happened to you guys?
No.
Am I the only one that happened to?
Yes.
Fuck.
I like how Pike didn't call attention to it. He just looked at it and he kind of just like, he didn't make her more uncomfortable, which I thought was nice.
That's the other thing I like about this scene is the way it was handled. First off, I love that when they're walking down the hallway and they're talking about Enterprise bingo and she just got her first square. I'm wondering what else is on that bingo card. That should be interesting as we watch these episodes. I'm like, which one are you going to get at Enterprise bingo?
Well, nobody will have a better bingo card than I got.
So what are some things you guys think would be on the bingo card?
Right, Nathan?
Oh, yeah. Patrick won bingo.
Bitch.
Oh, somebody had a good bingo event at the previous Star Trek convention.
Yeah, we have that celebrity
on
board.
Where they had bingo instead of karaoke night or whatever. We played bingo with the Enterprise guys.
I won all the prizes.
Yeah, you kind of nailed bingo. It was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. I know, and bingo still talks about it.
So one square is sitting on a tribble. Another square is being thrown out of an airlock. Another square would be
being back from being thrown out of an airlock.
Eating Heather's cooking.
Ew. Oh well, yeah. That one's not good.
And getting your dick stuck in a dock.
Going to the mirror universe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one too.
Yeah, mirror universe.
I do love the beginning scene because it was nice to get a feel for the crew and the
feel for the captain.
Yeah, and Pike.
I wouldn't mind feeling the captain.
And Pike talks about how when he was at Lake Simbi and how it was like really achingly beautiful and.
Like me.
I think that's really cool because a lot of times people like to downplay about how Africa is supposed to be a shithole and it isn't. So it's nice to someone to give Africa a justification. A lot of people, if you say that you come from Africa, 90% of the people think that you're with trees and fucking monkeys throwing shit at you and everything else. But no.
Yeah, you're thinking bugs getting landed on things, and it's
Elon Musk and Charlize Theron are from Africa,
right? But that has nothing to do with the public relations aspect of when's the last time you've seen a good travel commercial for Africa?
Yeah, but people go there for the safaris and they think all of Africa is like that, but they have have urban settings that if you get dropped in, the only way you can tell you're not in a city here in the United States is because the billboards are in their native language or
Swahili.
Also, shockingly, when you go to Africa, you see a lot of billboards have nothing but people of color on them. So to see somebody who isn't a person of color is not the norm. So it's interesting when you go over there. It's really beautiful.
Captain Pike's empathy on all of this. When we had that serious moment, I mean, one, to realize she spoke so many languages, that was amazing. And then she tells her story about her family getting lost in the shuttle accident. That's horrible. And then Pike has a really awesome response to that because this is such an awkward situation. He's incredibly caring in the way he responds to it. I just dug that so much about Captain Pike.
Huggy wuggy.
Yeah, he's as an actor, I really, really like him as an actor. I think he's just amazing how he brings that kind of honor to the role. Almost any role.
And his fucking hair is on point.
Oh my God. That thing was flawless.
Oh my God. If my hair would look like that one day, I would be very, very okay with that.
No, you'd be walking around. You want to touch it? Touch me. Touch me. So it was good. And then coming in that corridor to get back over there and to see at first when they ran the simulation, it's like, what the fuck? Did something just blow a planet up? But no, it was Spock playing with the computer. Showing what was going to happen.
Spock, how many times have I told you, don't play your video games on the bridge?
No World of Warcraft on the bridge.
No.
So, of course, it says use 4 ion engines. That would have triggered Picard.
Yeah.
Okay, next section after that.
Yes, next section.
Before we go on to the next section, I really love how they made this a Uhura episode. We're in our second episode, and we already got our one of our bridge crew their own episode. We usually have to wait a while before we get that, so I'm really psyched that we got that so soon.
Another thing I want to add real quick is that I love what's his name, the blind guy.
Oh Hemmer.
Hemmer, when he talks about how we have to configure the photon torpedoes to be able to launch the ion thrusters and everything.
Yes.
Oh, you just do that like an hour, and he's like, excuse me, I'm the one who has to do that. I can relate to that. It's like,
I thought that was so funny.
Rocket can plug in the warp reactor, no problem. He'll be done in 5 minutes. Excuse me.
He's awesome. He's like a male version of Jet Reno. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we can go to the next.
Aye, Captain. Act 1, Away Team. They can't hail the comet. Scans show no life signs. However, they did find a subterranean building on the comet. So Spock, Uhura, Kirk, and Lan, the security officer, beam onto the comet's surface and go into the building, finding the biggest Easter egg ever. The egg has some markings on it, and Uhura is asked to translate. Kirk turns it on, but gets an electric shock, causing his heart to stop. Unfortunately, the force field is now back up, and they can't beam aboard Enterprise. Spock saves Kirk's life, the first of many, but they are completely cut off from the ship.
That there, you can tell they're from the same family, Sam Kirk and James Kirk, because they said, don't do the thing. He's like, I'm going to do the thing.
and maybe you shouldn't. He just reaches out and touches it.
Yeah, he's like, don't do that. And he just
you can reach out and touch me.
Oh my God. You just like that porn stash.
It's a stash. No. It's totally the mustache. Kirk with a mustache. That's kind of, does that make you get the heebie-jeebies? Kirk with a mustache?
If you guys want to see Kirk with a mustache, seriously, the original series, season 1, episode 29, Kirk played his brother, Sam Kirk, and they put a mustache literally on Kirk, which, by the way, he looked nothing like his brother, this guy. They should have had someone look a little bit more like him.
That's before he discovered really good replicator cooking.
And that was the actor that actually played it. He actually doubled as his brother in that.
But it was cool that the suits had a defibrillator in it. So
that was a neat feature. Of course, every spacesuit I would probably want to go have. That's a good thing to have, because just in case you're out in space, in the vacuum in your spacesuit, you happen to stop your heart for some reason, they can just shock it back in real quick.
They had in the news, they had this guy, they found him dead in his backyard. And apparently he had killed his wife and he buried her and then had a heart attack right after. So I guess he wished he had a suit like that. So I thought that was kind of...
I thought what is funny, the Twitter response, I don't know if they spelled defibrillator correctly or not, but somebody had a complaint about the spelling of it. And then there was a whole rant of people responding to that. It's like, if that was a typo, that's like even the best comment was even autocorrect in the future screws it up.
Nice.
That was pretty cool.
Is someone playing with pussy during the podcast?
It's Patrick. He's
Dresden's whining.
He's undercover. Patrick's undercover.
Take care of your pussy.
I tried to. It was his birthday yesterday, so
give it attention. Really, what'd you do?
I gave him wet food. They don't get wet food now. I don't know.
We're not talking about the captain here.
Are you saying that you like your pussy wet?
Yeah. Yep.
Who doesn't?
That's true. Yeah, I reminded everybody this is not a show that you should listen to if you're a kid.
Or some adults. This is also Uhura's first away mission. I like that. Was this the first time she used the transporter? Because she shut her eyes.
Yeah. That was awesome. It was like you get on the big ride and you close your eyes.
She shut her eyes like it was going to hurt.
I thought that was interesting. And I
was
surprised.
Like, who are you, McCoy?
Right. I thought Uhura was going to be the person to do that. And that's amazing to me. And you're in a spacesuit. So talk about cute. Feeling, combining claustrophobia of a spacesuit with getting beamed someplace. That's an interesting phobia on phobia.
Getting your molecules torn up and then reassembled. Yeah.
And this is 10 years before Scotty had that problem with transporters, saying that it would kill you. So this is still very new.
That is an interesting thing, because how reliable are these transporters compared to the earlier and earlier generations? I wonder how many times the transporters have been upgraded on the Enterprise.
This is only transporter version 2.0.
But it was still the fact that they used that as a quick way to get to their thing, because they had to be subterranean, so they couldn't use a shuttlecraft. And then once they're there, like you said, it was kind of neat.
Are we still looking for Captain Archer's Beagle?
No, we don't know where the hell that thing is, because he's using is that the
transport beaming?
Yeah, the transport beaming. But it was kind of neat to be able to see them there. And like you said, the fearful but yet exuberance of Uhura was nice.
Well, yeah, and then Kirk walks up and touches it, and he gets a Yahtzee.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a nice little thing to did a mini cliffhanger that they did. It's like, okay, we need to get him out of here to stabilize. We can't beam. What?
The comms are out. the comms started to get bad. Oh yeah. Instant dun dun dun. Fade to black.
I wonder if his thought that he had enough time, he goes, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But yet that was quick.
Well, just like all Kirks who act before they think.
I was surprised that you're in a spacesuit. How conductive electronically is reach out and touch it with a spacesuit glove on?
I don't think it was electricity, though.
Well, that spacesuit is only version 2.0.
Oh, sure. Early version of the spacesuit.
And it's the early version.
All Spock said is he was reading a buildup of energy, but it didn't say it was electricity.
Yeah, you don't want to stand too close to some energy. That's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. And it's just like you don't touch an egg, just like you don't go up to a random woman and touch her belly. Oh, you're pregnant, can I feed the baby? No.
I was going to say you don't touch
her fucking
I thought you were going
belly.
to say you don't walk up to a random woman, stick your hand up her cooch and touch her eggs.
Oh my goodness.
No, you don't do that either.
I've had someone
not unless you're Crocodile Dundee.
I've had someone come up to me and do that before.
Oh.
Like, oh, you're pregnant. When are you due? I'm like, I just
I
fucking
thought you were going to
ate.
say they stuck their hand up your cooch and touched your head.
Wow. Reach out and grab someone.
I would charge for that.
Oh my goodness.
I would. No, like literally, I was in Blockbuster. I'm sitting there looking at movies. I had one arm behind my back, and I was leaning against it, and my stomach was out, and I had just eaten some food, and I had my other arm on it, and I was resting. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable. I don't look good, but I'm feeling pretty comfortable. And this woman walks up to me, and she literally says, "Oh, that's so cool. When are you due? When are you going to have your baby?" And I'm like, bitch, I just ate a burrito. Fuck you.
I would have said as soon as I take my next shit.
To drop a brown kid off in a swimming pool.
I think she was more mortified than I was.
That's
because that's the kind of mistake you don't want to make.
No.
So next section.
Yes.
Okay. Act 2. Is the universal translator broken? The away team needs to escape, but the only way out is to translate the Easter egg. Everyone looks at Uhura, and Uhura is not confident that she can do this. She is in way over her head and is suffering from some serious imposter syndrome. She makes a joke about Spock's girlfriend to break the ice, but the joke falls flat. Well, you know what the captain said. Sometimes things are so bad you just have to laugh. Pike, on the other hand, is trying to save his crew and asking for ideas. Let's try phaser harmonics. Great idea. They shoot at the comet again and get return fire from a much larger and previously cloaked ship. It's FaceTime as Pike chats with their new guest. Apparently, these zealots have been defending this comet since the age of time because they believe it was brought to us by the will of the gods and it must complete its destiny, its fate. And if you fuck with it again, we will destroy you.
Yeah, that was pretty wild because I know if I was on board and we scanned everything and we're going to go shoot at it and then all of a sudden you get hit, it's like, where the fuck did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought it was like an instant feedback loop, the way the ship, you saw the displays went crazy. Like, oh, wow, they shot him and it fed back into the systems or something. Oh, no, it's another ship.
Yeah, and it's like, what the hell? It's like being hit from behind if you're in a truck and the person hits you from behind is a sports car because you don't even see the little fucker drive up behind you because they're so low. And then you get hit and it's like, what the hell was that? So that was
I got bumped into
wild.
one time by some guy who probably shouldn't have been driving at the time. But he bumped into the back of my truck, but we had the trailer hitch on it. And his car was so low to the ground, it just lightly grazed the trailer hitch, but it shook the whole frame of the vehicle. I'm like, what the fuck was that? I thought the engine exploded or something. It was weird.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened with him. And then the pressure, though, that they put on Uhura right off the bat is like...
Well, she got thrown into it, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Spock says, figure it out. You can do it. But this is my first away mission. You keep saying that shit. Do it. Mm-hmm. Just figure it out. And like she was
you're
really
still
panicked.
Important to us.
Yeah, it was nice seeing, I guess, the beginnings of Uhura, how she wasn't always the confident, person that she was. Or that
I love though that she's like, is that your version of a pep talk? You might not want to take your foot off the gas on that one.
I love that.
That was funny.
Going back to when they saw the big ship, I love that how the first thing Pike did was, okay, how much more advanced are they? How much better are their weapons? Like, are we overpowering these guys or are these guys overpowering us? Because I'd like to know when I'm doing the negotiations.
Well, that's the equivalent of looking in the rearview mirror and seeing a tiny little sports car versus you just got hit by a Mack truck. It's like, what am I dealing with here?
In that situation, size does matter.
Yeah. It was kind of cool. I liked that he was ready to switch modes. Okay, if we're stronger than them, we're going to tell them to back the fuck off. If they're stronger than us, diplomatic.
Yeah, we're going to be nice. We're going to be very nice.
Basically, he just got karma from the last episode where he went and he said, well, my guns are bigger. And now in this episode, he's like, oh fuck, you got the bigger guns.
It's a part of the equation. You have to always ask yourself, who has the bigger stick?
Yeah.
I mean, dick.
Maybe both, but that was that's a good pickup. Karma got his ass, so that was nice. I also like the fact that how they try to develop feelings for the people on the planet. Yeah, it's like, oh, little mama's picking up her kid, and they're kind of freaking out. They see the thing in the sky, and they don't know what it is.
Nope.
It could wind up being something in a religion later. Well, who knows? Because they have no idea. What the hell was that?
Patrick, what are you doing?
I dropped my box.
That's what you say.
You
what
have
are
a
you
push
really
box?
doing?
You have a push box, don't you?
A squeeze box.
I think the dot's in there with him.
Mama plays all night.
That's funny. But I like that they call themselves, we don't even get the official name for them, do we?
Yeah, we do. The Deleb.
You mean?
That's right. But they call themselves the Shepherds.
Yeah, the big guys. Yeah, they're the Shepherds.
With the eyes, yeah.
But the people on the planet,
they're the Deleb.
Okay.
And they had to do that, that resonant, powerful, present voice. We are the Shepherds, and we are the ancient arbiters of life.
I watched the behind the scenes on this is so cool. I was shocked because I thought, oh man, they had one hell of a voiceover artist to do this. And then they put the actor in the uniform and they're doing it with puppetry. That wasn't a CG face. That was a puppetry face. I thought that was pretty fucking wild.
But it was the actual actor's mouth.
And then he's talked on set. That's what he actually sounds like. That's so fucking cool.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. And you get a voice like that, you kind of want to like, okay, we should take a beat and find out. And it's like, if you shoot it again, we will have to destroy you.
I mean, this guy's like, could you out Morgan Freeman? Wow. Dude had a voice. That guy's got like the biggest resonant balls.
I don't know. I think Morgan Freeman is God. Like no one can out Morgan Freeman him because he is God.
That's true.
I mean, I thought Whoopi Goldberg was God or Oprah Winfrey.
She's a goddess.
She's a goddess.
Okay. Yeah.
So it would be there. So it would be like, well, Morgan Freeman would be like, we have taken time to follow this comet across eternity, and we have to let it go past this planet, or else we have to destroy you.
Yeah,
that was a really bad Morgan Freeman.
So we'll just move on.
I
said it was
like
bad,
really bad. Like
I didn't even realize it was an impression.
If you had done that and tried to pass it off as Morgan Freeman, everyone would have been like, "What the fuck was that?"
In my head, it sounded like him.
I didn't realize we were doing impressions. I thought it was a first impression.
So
yeah, you dirty little rats. You dirty little rats.
We could have done that. Oh, it's like, what the fuck? What? Yes, you can come in. What is that?
Did you say yes? You can come all over my shoes.
What do you mean
Wait, who's
coming?
Who?
The dot says that was a peculiar.
The dot's coming all over Nathan's shoes.
He's shining his shoes.
What do you mean the dot said that was a funny sensation and they'd like to feel it again? No, I'm not sticking my dick in the dot. Tell him to go.
Oh, God.
He's already got his dick in a box. He doesn't need it in a dot, too.
God. Is that what the dot was doing in Patrick's room?
I don't care if it made modifications. Just go. Sorry about that.
He just wants to clean you, sir. Suck you clean.
Oh, God.
Not going to be a
And
thing.
next section.
Yes, please.
Oh, we made an advanced Roomba. Well, before we move on to the next section real quick. So Uhura, she sings a lot. If you watch the original series, she sang a lot on the original series. And if you go to season 1, episode 7, which was called Charlie X, Spock played the harp and Uhura sings. And I thought it was really cool that they did this on this episode because this is the first time like Spock and Uhura like sang together, made music together. And it was I don't know, Easter egg from the original series. And I thought that was really cool.
It was cool. I like the musical stuff.
Okay, I'm moving on to the next section.
Okay.
Act 3, David versus Goliath. Pike tries to explain to the Shepards the comet is going to hit the planet, and they were just trying to save it. The aliens proclaim that they don't care. Wherever the comet goes is considered fate. Oh, and that's not a comet, and if you call it that again, we will whoop your ass. Plus, we know about your people on the comet, and we've trapped them there. That will be their tomb. Maniacal laugh, ha ha ha. And if you try to rescue them again, we will consider that an act of war. Maniacal laugh. Pike scans their ship, and they are more advanced and have better weapons. So maybe they don't want to piss these people off. Pike starts singing, everybody say fuck that, fuck that, fuck that. We're getting these people off the comet. Speaking of which, a frustrated Uhura is still trying to translate the markings when Spock approaches to give a pep talk, but fails miserably. This was his first pep talk. He's been working at it. How'd he do? The look on Uhura's face says it all. Keep trying. So Spock tries for a second time, and that was better. Uhura starts to hum, and they notice the cave reacting to the melody. Uhura tries different notes, which evolves into an a cappella concert with Spock as the backup singer. The egg is so pleased it opens up wide for them. Uhura and the comet have a conversation via song, and the comet drops its force field, letting the away team back to the ship. The Shepards are pissed. fist and start to attack. Brace for impact.
That whole section was pretty cool. He did, again, Pike did what any captain would do. Find out, says, okay, what am I working with? Let me go ahead and grab him or press against, see what's there. And he finds out what's there, and they were able to talk to them. So that was good. But it turns out these guys were like the religious extreme. And the way they explained it is like, it does what it does. If it sees fit to save the world, it will. If it destroys the world, so what? If it destroys itself, so what? We just witnessing it.
I'm just like, try to argue with somebody that has the first phrase they come at you and say is, it is preordained. I'm like, what? No, it isn't. But you can't argue with somebody that says it is preordained. If it's preordained, it's preordained. You just can't come back to that. And that's the complicating part of this conversation.
Yeah, but that doesn't work in a bar. If you go up to a woman and say, it is preordained that we sleep together tonight, she'll put up a pretty damn convincing argument why it's not preordained.
Exactly. Yeah, you just can't come up and preordain something. But if something is there and it's already preordained, it's to have somebody come up and tell you that's different. And like, dude, I've been looking at it. This is what we do. This is what we do for a living. We just watch this fucking Comet thing. This is what we do. It's going to be this way. It's preordained. And
like you got the Borg vagina was preordained.
Exactly. You just can't argue with it. It's right there in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So a long time ago, I was in Free Cloud and I had this guy come up to me and say that he used that pickup line that you used, Captain, about it being preordained. So I slapped the motherfucker and said, okay, that was preordained too. Whack.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And I bet you when he says, why'd you slap me? He says, it doesn't matter. It was in the past.
It happened.
Yeah, it's already happened.
It was foretold.
Or you could go, that just happened.
That just happened.
So, but I like how Spock was more kind of like a counselor in this section, because he noticed that Uhura, when she's nervous, she sings. And he's like, you're nervous. You're having a problem. And then she's freaking out. And he's like, yeah, but you realize that now we know not to step on the mat. Just don't do it. So that's one thing we can avoid. Don't step on the mat, and you can figure this out. You should be able to do this. You've got this.
It's one hell of a pep talk, though. His second pep talk was much better than the first one.
It was. Yeah. It was. It showed wisdom on him beginning to know Uhura more and what to say in order to get her going.
Also, it showed empathy too, because he's like, this must be the first time your life has been in danger on an away mission.
Yeah, and she's freaked out on it.
I like the what he brought to that, though. He says you can use this. Some people get in these dangerous situations. They kind of have an out of body experience seeing it happen, and he says use that as a unique perspective to find, to look at your problem and solve it. And I thought that was a wonderful way to look at it.
And the fact that she was singing, at first it sounded a little bit like Close Encounters, the song.
The whole idea of this is Close Encounter, right there, the sing the notes, and then you can use music to communicate. I love how it breaks down to mathematics too, because music is mathematics. You can look at it and bring out the numbers. I mean, that's how we put a CD. Oh, you guys remember CDs? That's how we put an MP3 in a machine, and it looks at the numbers and gives us music. That's how it's digitized, and we can hear things that way. So I love that, breaking it down as a way to communicate, and then using mathematics like we did in the episode of Discovery last season to use that as a basis for communication. This is just a slight variation of it.
I got that vibe too from Discovery. I was thinking about that too when I watched it.
Yeah.
And when she needs backup singers, I thought that was hilarious.
Han does not do. I would break it. She was like, "I'm going to break it. I'm not going to help."
Yeah, no, I'm no help here. I'll break the thing. That was totally like, I can relate for that completely. Like, if you want me to actually do a good job singing, do not use me. Use someone else. I will. As you guys have witnessed on the podcast, I can't sing.
That's why we all get along together.
Fuck that. Fuck that.
I enjoyed with her finally realizing with Spock's nudging and help is that how the chamber was responding to her singing.
Yeah, and it was cool because she could sing to it, and like the cave is glowing. It's like you realize you're in a disco, basically, and the lights are moving to the music. You just needed some music to move to.
Are they raving?
Yeah, they would totally go raving if they wanted to.
There was no heavy bass though on the thing. There was no.
Yeah, they needed to drop the bass, and then the entire thing would explode in light and shining harmonics.
But that was nice for them to affect. And she manages to get the shield to drop, which I thought was kind of cool. But by singing to it, it's like, we're not dangerous. We are.
That was incredible.
Go ahead, lower your shields.
That was completely incredible that she talked to it via song.
Yeah, it's cool.
And she got it to lower the shields.
That was impressive. And that's where the genius of it comes in, because she could take it to the next level and communicate, please lower your shields.
And she got the egg to open.
The egg went kersplat, as it were. That was kind of neat. I don't know what function.
There's no yolk in it, though, so that was kind of disappointing.
I'm not sure the function of that. I guess it was its own set of shields, but it was very, very beautiful to look at.
Yeah, but they beam them up. They didn't interfere with it. And the Shepards are like, you were warned, kill them all. It's like, what the fuck? Just as they thought it did well.
Pike's like, oh, look, can we just talk about this for a second? And they're like, no, it was preordained.
Yeah, but it didn't happen. Well, let's move on to the next section.
Aye, Captain.
Because don't forget, number one has to have a hard
date.
stop. Yep. So let's move to the next section.
I have to go to Free Cloud.
Something's going to be hard. Okay. So Act 4, Foretold.
Heading to Free Cloud.
Foretold by the stars. Evasive
Maneuvers.
Evasive fuck? That doesn't make sense.
I swear.
It is when she keeps moving it so you can't get it in. Go ahead.
I will never think about those words the same way again. Oh my God. Once you hear that, you can't unhear that.
Somebody's going to say evasive maneuvers and Heather's just going to fall on the floor laughing.
Yeah, probably the next time we go to a convention, right? Okay, evasive maneuvers. The crazy space monks are bigger and have better weapons. Run! Pike does an incredible job evading the Shepards while devising a plan on how to stop the comet and save the world. Spock and Uhura get into place while Pike maneuvers the spaceship to be directly in front of the comet. That way, the Shepards can't fire without hitting the comet. Pike makes a phone call and surrenders, begging for help. Fine, the Shepards agree to help. When they initiate the tractor beam, a shuttle detaches and Spock flies just under the comet, slowly lifting it up and away from the planet, but without actually touching it. The comet barely misses the planet, but is close enough to cause rain and permanently change the atmosphere, creating vegetation and an evolution of social development. The creepy monks were right. The comet did bring life. Later on...
Comic? Like Jay Leno?
The comet. Did I say comic?
You did actually. There was a C I heard.
Oh, shit. The comet. The comet brings life. Later on, Uhura translated the message. The numbers painted a picture, a path through the Persephone system and away from any danger. Because Spock interfered with it, it was able to keep its preordained path. It was fate. Later, when Pike is alone in the privacy of his chambers, he is looking at pictures of little children.
Not like that, you creepy fucks.
Well, I mean, if you're sitting there alone in the privacy of your chambers and you're just sitting there scrolling through all these pics of little kids, that's just weird.
They're kids that he's going to save in the future.
It's still weird. Really weird. You got to admit, it's totally weird. If you were to walk in on him like that, that's weird.
Like, what are you doing?
It would have been weirder if he sat there going...
Yeah, or if he was naked, but he wasn't.
But he didn't, so it's okay.
Get your minds out the gutter, people.
You don't have to wear clothes while you're surfing the web.
We only saw like the first second of it. We don't know what happened in the next 10 minutes.
Oh, dear.
Don't be gross.
Oh, dear.
Sorry.
Yeah, but
that was not that kind of captain.
I know. I just can't help thinking about it. Like,
he's not a Nausican.
Gross.
But that section that came up, it was an idea that I think that we weren't privy to what Spock was going to do.
That really tripped my head out because I'm trying to still figure out what just happened. I mean, he flies around the comet, which is insane, and he's got a lot of rocks and debris to fly around, and he cranks up the heat shields, and he's flying through the comet. I was trying to figure out what was going on.
The comets are mostly made of ice.
Right.
So flying close to them with the heat shields causes them to break up.
Yeah, or melt up a little bit. So,
right.
And so the idea is I thought they were trying to change the orbital path of the comet.
Because the breaking up of the comet will change the mass of it and change the directory of it.
Yeah, and that's what happened. And if you remember, he sheared off a piece that the comet had already told Uhura about this piece that was going to get sheared off.
Yeah.
And it matched. And and it sent it out before.
I am so glad I'm not the only person that screws up words on this podcast.
You know, but
yeah, the whole idea of it, and then they get the time to run the music through the computer and get the numbers coded up and realize that it sent a selfie. Essentially, the comet sent a selfie.
Yeah, but a selfie that it was in the future that hadn't happened yet.
Realize that, look, this is the instruction manual, what we're going to do here. You're going to fly your
Comet selfies are hard.
You're going to fly your shuttle right between our, right up our ass, basically.
Right up our nacelles.
And split it up. And then we're going to...
nacelles, pardon the engineering parlance.
And then we're going to rain down love and wonderful moisture on the planet after you do this. And that's what we're intending to do here. But
from her ample nacelles.
But they had no idea how to translate this. And apparently the other guys are like, it's preordained, but they don't know what's going on either.
No, they don't.
It's just...
Or else they would have shot it if the shuttlecraft, if they detected the shuttlecraft there.
No one's listening to the music until they get a chance to, tune in the MP3 later and go, oh, that's what they were saying.
And it's like, what do you do? It's like it told the future. So what is this? And they left to ponder like a little kid waking up in the morning and still thinking that this Santa Claus, they just didn't
except
know.
Santa Claus for Captain Pike is melty face.
And I like the fact that, Ortegas is kind of...
love that.
She's
I'm loving her.
She's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Although there's some hate on some Star Trek group about her because her hair's too short and not cut right, and she's not pretty enough.
Anybody who's hating hair on this show is just, we don't care about what you think about hair.
Her hair is amazing.
She looks great, and she's out there in the beginning of the show with her belly button out and just letting her freak fly. That was nice.
Yes,
it was really cool that they did that,
and that was casual.
Yeah, that was a casual.
That was casual.
I like how at the end of the show, Pike gives Ortega full reign on the evasive maneuvers. And I'm sitting there wondering, did Pike just run out of evasive maneuvers?
And she's like, Omega Delta Ortega.
Ortega Gamma 1, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of her evasive maneuvers.
That his eyebrow goes up. It's like she's fucking putting flight plans in the computer and not telling me.
Like, what are you doing on your off time? You're not telling
And then you see the maneuver and it's this really cool spiral shake and bake thing. That's actually kind of a cool maneuver, and the animations are amazing on this show.
One of the things I thought was really kind of cool that I felt in sync with Pike is because when he started the way they're shooting at him, I was yelling at the screen, get in front of the comet. They won't shoot the comet. And what does he do? Get in front of the comet. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's the old classic. You want us to go closer?
Yeah. And then you hear Spock laughing. So I'm surprised you didn't get people all haterade on that because he took that lesson to heart.
His laugh was a little too realistic sounding.
Yeah.
If I had to get picky on that would be my pick. The whole thing was like Spock's laugh actually sounded pretty good.
It was.
Sounded human.
Yeah, I would expected him to be more like, ha, ha.
Yeah, exactly. Be like, ha, ha. Wasn't that funny?
Well, he is half human.
Yeah, but he, I guess in the beginning of the series that he did not fully learn to control his human half. And as the older he gets, the more he suppresses it. Mm-hmm. So I think that was kind of nice. Right.
Yeah, he matures a bit over the decade or so between we see Spock from the Discovery era and this era of...
Well, it's only a year since Michael left.
Yeah, and this is only like 10 years before we see him in TOS. Yeah.
And he's not completely different. We still see a lot of Spock in there.
He's still
For
cooking.
Example, Uhura said to Spock, you do a lot of reminding people of deadlines, sir. And Pike's like, yeah, she does have a point. And he continues to do that throughout the series.
Yeah, he does.
That was funny.
Because I had a fun little chat on the internet with somebody on Instagram, and I appreciate it because they're frustrated.
There's such a thing as a fun little chat on the internet.
Yeah, on Instagram specifically. But they were complaining about the character Spock having the lovey-dovey moments with his wife-to-be to be. And I'm like, well, wait. He's human. And what if he was Ponfarin a little bit right there? We've seen Spock get emotional. And then he's like, no, the Vulcans are not emotionally outbursty like this. This is completely wrong and offensive. And I was just like, whoa. This is what you're getting upset over?
Spock is half human.
Yeah, he's half human. He's a lot younger. And, we have seen him get emotional, even in that episode, Amok Time, where he bashes the hell out of that monitor.
We know that they're biologically, the imperative biologically is every 7 years to mate. That doesn't say anything about that they can't have sex during that time.
Right.
In between that time.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of times.
It's just that once every 7 years they have to.
You're right.
But we see a Spock guys, don't get upset over this stuff. Sit back and enjoy the wonder of it. Enjoy the laughter. It's like, that's kind of funny. Spock is getting a little, we don't usually see Spock this way. It's kind of funny.
Anybody remember laughter? But people don't remember in the original series that he almost gave it up to Christine, to Nurse Chapel. There's been a couple of times when he's like, I'm sorry, I can't give you what you would want.
Well, and then there's a time he's beamed down on that planet and he's sneezed the flower pollen. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. We're going to get ready to tie this up. One of the things that I'll talk about a little is how Spock again was acting like the mentor for Uhura about her being in Starfleet and all the tenets of being.
And it comes around at the end where he's like, yeah, actually, no, you might have a future here.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
And that really, because she was beginning to freak out as any new crew person would, but he's like, yeah, you're adapted for this because there's nothing I could say to you that would have increased our chances of survival. This was on you. You did this.
You did it.
Yeah, you do it.
You did it.
So I thought that was cool. I really like how Strange New Worlds is doing, and I'm really appreciative of the fact that it's shutting down a lot of the Trek haters as well. So that's a plus.
Oh yeah, I know. I've seen people people who have inboxed me. They're like, "Oh my god, this is the Trek I've been waiting for." Like this is Trek. I'm like, the other stuff is Trek too. I'm like, you guys are just lame because you're waiting for the episodic TOS stuff to come back, but this is still not completely TOS episodic because the character arcs are serialized.
Are moving forward. Yep, I think it's cool. So like Spock said once in one of the movies, only Nixon could have gone to China. So you had to have the other shows in order for us to have this one. If those other shows weren't existing, we would have never had Strange New Worlds. So it's built on the success of each show before it. Heather.
Hi, Captain.
What would you give this on a 1 to 10?
I give this episode a 9. I really like this episode. I love how they have a dedicated Uhura episode, and it's only the second episode. I'm really digging that. I love the characters. It's a full-on 9.
I have to agree. I really, really liked it. How about you, number one? What would you give it?
Maybe a 9, yeah. It was very Trek.
Yeah, I will say I agree. And you, Chief?
I'm a 9. I was actually at 8.5 on my first viewing, but on the second viewing, it was a 9 because I realized that this comet must have had some time crystals just like Captain Pike because it could do the selfie.
And Heather's coffee.
And drank Heather's coffee. I mean, Heather might have visited this comet at some point because, the comet could foretell the future just like Pike can foretell the future. So it's fascinating.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Indeed.
I think that I'm also going to give it a 9. It was a really enjoyable episode. I like the fact that they added science into it, like Star Trek will do at times, as well as the personal development. And it was just overall, and I like the humor that happens.
And did you notice we got 2 famous Spock sayings too? We got fascinating and indeed.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it's going to be growing even more. I really appreciate it. Number one, do you want to do site-to-site transport or should we prep a shuttle for you?
All site to site.
Site to site? Okay, stand by. Chief?
Standing by.
Could you lock on number one's comm badge and get him to his destination?
Okay, ready to beam. Stand by.
Hey, don't you want to know what next week's episode's called?
Okay, stand by. What's next week's episode?
Standing by.
It's called Ghosts of Illyria.
Oh, that sounds ominous.
And it's supposed to be comedic, apparently.
Oh, that is cool.
Like Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Are you ready, Pat?
I'm ready.
Bye, Patrick. Have fun.
Beam away.
All right.
Energizing. Ooh, why do we still have his pants on the transporter pad? You probably won't notice.
Just teleport it back to him, I guess, somewhere in the area so he can put it on.
Okay, I'll send it over.
All right.
Ah, shit. I just sent his pants to Africa.
Well,
He won't notice. Don't worry about it.
Well, he'll enjoy the rains down in Africa. So,
they'll make for some interesting selfies.
Yeah.
Ooh, the rains. I like the way this episode kind of had the rain at the end. It just kind of, they got the money shot, as it were.
Yeah, it was a pretty good show. I enjoyed it. It's very entertaining, and I really am enjoying it so far. The interplay between the crew, they already feel like they've been together for a while. And so that was pretty good. I enjoyed this very much. Okay. I guess we're going to get ready to shut it down now. Thank everybody for joining us for another wonderful episode. And I'm glad it feels like family here. All the people that come in and listen to us, and we see the numbers, and thank you, especially the repeat people.
Thank you, Dom. Thank you, Pimpin.
Yes. Thank you all. Thank you, Lana, as well.
And feel free to join these wonderful people by becoming a Patreon.
Yes, we would like that because it helps with me fixing the dock not to have that receptacle in the front anymore. So as well as neutering our tribbles and sending them on little vacation shots, and also the clandestine cameras we have to get nudes of the crew. So it's pretty cool. So make sure that you guys don't just have a great week, but make it so.
And if you can, support the show by going to patreon.com/Starfleet Underground. Lots of perks to choose from, and you might even like some of them. Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG, and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.